Hello all, welcome to another discussion on the entities that we currently contain within our agency. Today we will be talking primarily about entities brought into existence by the mind of one Darren Corrin, a rather perplexing and intriguing young boy who has an exceptionally strong connection to imagination energy. For anyone who has somehow made it this far without knowing what imagination energy is, here is a brief explanation. When we were brought into existence by a species higher than ourselves, some would call these gods or deities, they imbued humanity with the unusual ability to create worlds with mere thought. Just by having a dream or a consistent idea of a species, we can quite inexplicably create worlds that have existed since before we even existed, giving them time to evolve and adapt to how we have seen them in our thoughts. If the consistent thoughts persist, and an individual has a particularly strong connection to imagination energy, there is the chance that a rift or portal will open connecting the individual with their creation, at which point the being or entity can come into our world and interact with civilians, which is something we can't allow to happen. Darren Corrin's connection has always been quite prominent, with him seemingly summoning his imaginary friends with relative ease, and we can usually tell when they are his because they appear quite cartoonishly alarming and, let's say, unique. The entity we will be talking about today claims they are a Martian, despite the fact that we have put them in contact with true Martians and shown them they are not remotely reminiscent of one. We have taken to calling them Squid the Martian for the sake of appeasing the being, whose only apparent desire is to take over the Milky Way. Usually we just give him a chocolate bar of the same name and they spend a good hour trying to figure out whether it is an explosive or a key to the galaxy, before accidentally ripping the wrapper and smelling what is inside, eating it and putting him in a euphoric state. The entity is also very fond of Darren, and has been quite distressed as a result of being kept away from him. We make sure to check up on the boy whenever we can, and whenever we do, we make sure to inform Squid of how he is. However, he began asking too often, and we began to lie, claiming we have seen the boy when in reality we haven't the operatives to take out such a small matter. When he is calmed as a result of knowing Darren is okay, we are usually able to have quite civilized conversations, but we try to not bring up the appearance of his strangely bulbous and grotesque looking face, of which appears like a combination of a caricature and a character from a children's show about a yellow sponge living in a pineapple under the sea. The reason we try to not bring this up is because of the entity's unfortunate attachment to its gun, a morphing cannon-like appendage that has grafted itself to the being's skeleton, which makes it impossible to remove without removing the limb itself. He has been known to shoot operatives in the lower ranks when they bring up this feature while within its facility. Despite this, we allow the being to walk or hover through the halls of the facility, along with the other imaginary friends that Corrin has spawned over the last 12 years since his birth. We found out that at the time that Corrin created this being, he was learning about space in his 5th year at primary school, and was enthralled by the idea of beings living on other planets. He imagined being friends with an alien similar to E.T. or Mac, and the universe gave him Squid. We don't really need to go into the ins and outs of Corrin's childhood to know that he was into cartoons, as most children are, which is the only explanation we have for the entity's strange and unusual appearance. If you have any more questions or requests for entities you would like to know about, please leave them in the suggestion box below. For now, I need to go clean up the hall. It appears that the class clown just decided to tell Squid that he had a head like a deflated hot air balloon.